If you had to describe yourself professionally in only 10 words, which 10 words would you use? Now I want you to think about 3 people at work, your manager, a coworker, and a friend in a different team. How many of the 10 words that you just selected for yourself would each of these 3 people have picked for you if I were to ask them to describe you in 10 words? The whole point of this is to determine whether the brand that you think you have is actually the brand that other people see in you. Because the reality is, how you view yourself is not what defines your personal brand. In fact, your perception of yourself matters very little. In this video, I'm sharing the 3 tips you must implement to create your brand and personal reputation as a valuable contributor to your team and your company. And the best part is you won't feel like a fake at all because they're all about being true to who you are and maximizing your exposure and visibility. Hi, I'm Shadé Zahrai, and I help professionals to hack their careers, overcome their limiting beliefs, and confidently create the extraordinary life they deserve. I've always liked the idea of being a quiet achiever, of letting my hard work and accomplishments speak for themselves. I struggled really early on in my career when it came to interacting with colleagues, first in the legal industry and then in finance, who seemed to brag or endlessly self-promote at work. They had a way of effortlessly inserting some personal achievement or accomplishment into nearly every sentence. I believed that my hard work would be noticed and recognized. But I was also fortunate that early in my career, a mentor told me that if no one else in the company actually knows about my work accomplishments, those accomplishments won't really count for much. Hearing this was a bit of a rude awakening for me, and something that didn't really sit well with me at first, because up until that point, I'd always presumed that my work would speak for itself. I assumed that if I worked hard, the quality and impact would be obvious. But it wasn't until I worked closely with internal marketing teams and I saw the impact of positive PR on the growth and positive trajectory of products and brand that I realized that my own personal PR, my brand, my reputation, which perhaps is a better way to think about it, would have a direct impact on my own personal career trajectory. And I couldn't have been more right. I attribute my corporate success to the brand that I was able to create. So what is personal branding? Personal branding is a way of establishing and consistently reinforcing who you are and what you stand for in your career and life. It helps you differentiate yourself from others and present a version of yourself which is aligned with your values and what you stand for. Now, this last part, aligned with your values and what you stand for, is really, and I mean really important. I once delivered a talk on how to create your personal brand to a room of about 180 university students. And the main theme of my talk was that you can't create a personal brand, really. If you're having to work hard to create it, then it's not reflecting who you are or what you stand for. Instead, your personal brand should be a true reflection of who you are authentically. It should embody your key attributes, your positive attitude, your strategic mindset, your caring approach, or perhaps your assertive orientation. Amazon CEO and founder Jeff Bezos says, "Your personal brand is what others say about you when you leave the room." Okay, so let's now dive into the 3 tips that you must implement to help you be on the front foot of strengthening your personal brand within your company and beyond. And don't worry, there is no fakery here. The first is to say yes to relevant opportunities. In the first year of my banking career, I'll admit that I felt well out of my depths. I had experience in only a handful of teams in very traditional banky roles which required a lot of prior knowledge which I didn't have. But in the same year, I put my hand up to be involved in a young professionals committee, which was designed to provide opportunities for the thousands of young professionals to network, to develop themselves, and to engage with the community. Because of this extracurricular activity, I developed a brand around caring for our employees and contributing to building a positive workplace culture. I was also very positive in my approach, even though I really struggled. This early reputation I earned as a result of putting my hand up for an opportunity to do something which I enjoyed absolutely stuck, and I developed a reputation of someone who genuinely cared about the company and its people. So saying yes to relevant opportunities is a really great way to shift any existing reputation that you may have, especially if you've been labeled as the data girl or the HR whiz. By engaging in projects, in roles or initiatives that strengthen your desired identity, you can start to shift how others see you. Joe Miller, the CEO of Be Leaderly, explains that your personal brand needs to evolve at certain points in your career, or it will hold you back. My brand today is different to what it was when I worked in the law, and then different again in banking as compared with later years. And again, it's changed today. Miller recommends that you think about where you want to be in a few years. What sort of position do you want to have? Then consider which specific activities or initiatives will help you build that personal brand that you need to reach that goal. She says, Actively seek out and volunteer for high-profile roles and assignments where you can demonstrate your new brand in action. To help you assess whether an opportunity is right for you, ask yourself these 4 questions. 1. Is this opportunity something that allows me to do more of what I love and use more of my strengths? Will it enable me to be more valuable and useful to the company, to the team, to the new industry I want to enter? Will it further advance my career, making me more employable or skilled? Will I be around others who inspire and empower me or who I can learn from? These 4 questions will help you make sure you're making the right decisions while not missing out on any opportunities that could help create your authentic brand and thereby accelerate your career progression. The second tip is to network internally beyond your immediate team. In my first year, I made it a goal to connect with as many senior leaders as I could and to take them out for coffee. The objective was to learn about their experience and about them as people, but also to learn more about the company. A little tip here. I kept an Excel document which listed everyone I met with, their position, where we caught up, like the name of the coffee shop, and then anything notable that they said, including words of advice, but also anything personal that they shared, like how their 5-year-old was graduating from kindergarten at the end of the year. I then made a note to reach out to them to acknowledge any of these personal milestones, and the personal touch was always appreciated. But foremost, in doing this and making the effort to network, I was raising my visibility among my colleagues and the people in other teams, which also made me more promotable. If you discover there could be some way you can add value, you can also offer up your services. For example, when I spoke with a senior leader in the legal team, she shared that her team was lacking motivation and engagement. So I offered to run a mindset seminar with them to re-engage the group and align them. They took me up on it, and within a couple of weeks, I was presenting to a room of 40 in-house lawyers. It was great. So make networking an intention and find opportunities to follow up or offer value. The third tip is to be really clear on what your values are and what drives you. You'd be surprised just how many people wouldn't be able to tell you what their values are. But how can you actually go about creating an authentic personal brand when you don't have clarity on your values? The short answer is you can't. So it's really important to take time to reflect on what your core values are, both in life and in business, and then look for ways to align that with what you're doing and how you're doing it at work. The first thing to do here is to take some time to reflect on what's important to you. Write down 10 of your top values for how you choose to live your life. Don't even consider the work ones just yet. Once you have 10, narrow that down to 5 by asking yourself, which of these would hurt if someone at work didn't identify that value in me? This question helps you to become laser focused on what's most important for your brand in the workplace. Once you've given your values some thought, you move into phase 2, which is time to really dig deep and self-reflect some more about whether you're actually living purposefully and in alignment with these values. So what you want to do is schedule a meeting with the most important person in your life. Here's a hint, that's you. During this check-in, you want to do an internal audit and ask yourself these questions. How closely are you living your life, both personally and professionally, aligned to your values? What are the goals that you're working towards, and how do your values play into them? What different choices could you make in your life right now to help you live in greater alignment with your values? Now, you don't need to know the definitive answer to each of these 3 questions every time, but you want to get into a habit of this kind of questioning to force you to question your decisions and consider whether you're living aligned to values at work, and thereby creating a really strong and authentic brand which reflects who you really are. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed these 3 personal brand tricks, and I hope they serve you well when it comes to shaping your own personal brand in a way that's authentic, aligned to your values, and positions you as a valuable contributor to your company. If you found this video useful, please go ahead and hit the like button, and please spread the word in social media land. And in the comments below, let me know what you do at work to help bolster your personal brand in a way that's authentic to who you are. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Shadé Zahrai. I will see you next time.